Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. This reading will be about Bruno Mars and his girlfriend, Jessica Cuban. So then, I don't know anything of these people, so let's find out first. Who are they as individuals? So let me see. Who is Bruno Mars as a person? What can be shown? What can we see? Well, he's very secretive. You know what I mean? I know that this is the Seven of Swords, right? And it speaks of like being sneaky, but this is also a very secretive energy, you know? It's like the hermit, you know, with all this black. All right. This tower energy, it came out second, so I'm getting a vibe, right? That he's really secretive about sort of like the shady things in his life. I know that that's kind of like intense to start the reading off, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And it's funny, it has to do with women. It definitely has to do with ladies, right? Because this tower has no man. So that's actually interesting. I just noticed that with this particular deck, that there's no man with this particular tower. So what's being shown to me is that, yeah, I mean, he's definitely secretive, you know, but I'm gonna let the reading speak for itself, you know? So let's keep going. All right. So let's see what else pops up next. At the same time, I mean, this is an interesting card, right? Because Nine of Wands usually speaks of coming out of a difficult time. You know what I mean? Usually someone's like broken down. But it's interesting that's not the imagery. So what's being shown to me is that him being secretive, it pays off. You know what I mean? That, yeah, there's some shit going on as far as his dating life. You know, I gotta pretty much call it as it is. You know, the tower isn't a good situation when it comes up. And it definitely, like, relates to multiple things, especially depending on, like, what the energies are about. This is showing me cheating. Not just that, I'm seeing shady business practices. You know what I mean? This is like a skyscraper. So I'm definitely getting the vibe of shady business practices. But this is showing me that he's been having luck, you know? It should be sort of like a difficult situation for him, but this is showing me that someone that comes sort of like on top of things, you know what I mean? That he definitely wins. So very fascinating. Let's see what this next card shows. Well, it has to do with the people that's around him and what he's involved in. I mean, it is what it is. If you look at these particular people or entities, you know, they don't look too great. So it's showing me he's surrounded by, I'm going to call it as it is, a machine. You know what I mean? We obviously know he's a huge, big celebrity. It is what it is. And with all these demons around this guy, is showing me is that he's surrounded by some powerful, dark people. You know what I mean? So it kind of allows him to do the most and get away with it. It is what it is. Let's see what else we can see with this deck. Very fascinating. I mean, guys, I can't fucking... You know what I mean? Like, lie to you guys about this shit. I know the energies can kind of be intense sometimes. And I prefer, personally, for it to come out kind of like light at first and then just like pick up. But hey, it is what it is. Alright, so that card fell out. We're going to see what it's about later. So this is going to be fascinating. Alright. So let's see what else is happening with this guy. This High Priestess, I mean, I gotta keep it real with you guys. This guy, he's definitely involved in spiritual practices. And it's funny because I would have never, like, assumed that about him. But I'm definitely seeing him involved in spiritual practices, you know. The High Priestess relates to the occult. I mean, it's not like the worst thing, but I'm definitely seeing a guy that keeps that side of him hidden because it's on top of basically like secrets and shit and being sneaky. Let's see what else I can see. This Four of Cups, this is an interesting energy, right? Because what was I telling you? That it's like shady behaviors as far as relationships, as far as business, right? And this inverted Four of Cups, I mean, it's kind of like, I have to pick up this energy because this energy is kind of hard to explain, right? Because usually, like, the Four of Cups speaks of you, like, being stubborn, not accepting sort of just, like, good things in your life. But the fact that this is inverted is showing me a greedy energy. You know what I mean? It's kind of like he doesn't have any problems accepting the blessings in his life, accepting, like, the good shit. The fact that, again, it's inverted is showing me that he's a little bit too caught up with accepting sort of just like the best shit in life. You know what I mean? I'm definitely seeing a greedy person with this inverted Four of Cups. Let's continue. So it's not looking too good for him. This Queen of Cups, right? The Queen of Cups is a sort of like sensitive energy, you know what I mean? It's actually a really nice energy. It's a very nice, peaceful energy. You know, the Queen of Cups, when it's upright, the Queen of Cups speaks of sharing, you know what I mean? She has all this abundance, all this fertility, all this wealth, you know what I mean? Not just that she's connected in a spiritual way, but a good spiritual way. But again, the fact that this card is inverted, what I'm seeing is, again, someone that's selfish, you know? When the Queen of Cups is inverted, it speaks of a selfish female. So I'm seeing he's definitely selfish, you know? And it's funny too, right? What I pick up with this particular card is this fish in the water. So what I'm noticing is that not only is he selfish about his wealth, it is what it is, he's also selfish about children, you know what I mean? Having children. And it's funny because I guess he's been with this female a long time, so they say. But it's showing me, it's kind of just like he's selfish about children, about having children. That's why he hasn't had any sort of children to my knowledge. So very interesting. Let's see what the next card is about. This Seven of Swords. It's funny, right? Because this is basically the last card of the reading. And it goes back to the start. You see how it's speaking of like, or it was showing like him being like sneaky, right? Because this is definitely a sneaky, secretive vibe. When this card is inverted, because it's the Seven of Swords again, it speaks of being sneaky, but it's like not necessary. So what I'm seeing is a guy that's like really secretive about his shit, but it's not necessary. Not just that. When it's inverted, it speaks of a guy using sort of like his sneaky ways to be very shady. So it's like, not only is he secretive, but he's a shady, secretive person. I don't know his zodiac sign, but the energies I'm getting is a vibe of a shady Scorpio. So I don't know if you guys know any shady Scorpios, but this is basically the vibe of a shady Scorpio. A selfish Scorpio, you know what I mean? That doesn't want to share. That's causing like issues behind the scenes. Because usually, right? Sorry, I don't know if I've been like losing my voice. So if I sound odd, that's why I have to clear my throat. So excuse me. Yeah. So what's being shown to me is like, usually this Seven of Swords, right? It speaks of someone being like diplomatic, right? When it's upright, you know, that's like not into fights, that likes to handle things behind the scenes, but like do it in a peaceful manner. Again, the fact that it's like upside down, it's showing me someone that's kind of like abrasive. I'm definitely picking up an abrasive energy. Not just that, this is again a very selfish energy. So I mean, it is what it is. And look, he has, what was I telling you? He has a machine around him. You know what I mean? The Six of Swords is also about like movement and shit. So it's kind of just like he's able to get away with this shit because of what's around him. It is what it is. That's why he's like, I guess, a bad guy. So that's fascinating. I'm actually going to pick up the female's energy now and look further, and I'm going to ask like questions and shit. Like, does he love her and all of that? But this is really insightful. So let's see, what can I see about her energies? What can be shown to us? Yeah, I don't know, like, I've been losing my voice. I guess I've been doing too many readings and shit or something. Like, I've been talking so much that it's, like, weird. Well, she's an opportunist with this robbery. This definitely speaks of an opportunist. So, yeah, very fascinating. Ooh, she's worrying about organization. You know what I mean? Whenever it's the dragon, for the people that's not familiar with my readings, the dragon speaks of kind of like the same thing, sort of like the Hierophant or Hierophant, however you pronounce it, speaks of. Because I know the Hierophant speaks of like different things from like morals and religion, but it speaks of like organizations, you know what I mean? And that's what the dragon represents. The dragon represents big organizations. So what I'm saying is, as someone that's an opportunist, not just that, she's definitely concerned with big organizations. What I'm thinking of is Hollywood. She's definitely caught up with that vibe. Let's see what else. What did I tell you? This is a very insightful reading, right? And again, I have to clear my throat. And it's funny because, like, usually when I clear my throat or to, like, drink water, I don't have any water near me, which was stupid. But usually when I clear my throat, it's kind of just, like, done and over. But again, I guess I've been, like, speaking so much that, like, I'm losing my voice and shit, which is obnoxious. So I have to, like, fix that later. But, yeah, she thinks that she's a strategist. So that's funny. She definitely thinks that she's a strategist, you know what I mean? And I mean, hey, she is like involved in some strategies, what I'm seeing. Let's see what else we can see about this person. She's a prideful person. Not just that, she thinks that she's smart. You know what I mean? She thinks like she's handling things in a smart way. So, I mean, these energies are really transparent. It is what it is. Let's look further. What else can we see about this situation? So, it's funny that I'm basically picking up that these two people are narcissists. It is what it is. So, it's kind of just like they're a perfect couple. You know what I mean? So, let's see. It's kind of just like he met his match and she met her match is what I'm picking up. So, let's look further. Very insightful reading for me, most definitely. Alright, so let's see what else needs to be shown. The decks be sliding sometimes. Alright. Again, this is a funny energy. This has to do with the altar of life. You know, whenever you see a column like this, this is an altar of life, right? This is about dealing with loss. This is definitely dealing with loss. And it's funny, the fact that it's inverted is showing me it's like she doesn't see the loss, is what I'm seeing. So it's kind of just like, for her, she's an opportunist and she thinks that like she's basically robbing people. So I don't know like what's going on behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Obviously she's been with him for a minute, so he might be giving her money. She might be like, yo, like, you know, shit's good. But again, this speaks of getting the short end of the stick. So she thinks that she's robbing him and shit and that she's being smart. But what's being shown to me is that the altar of life is not looking too good. You know what I mean? Not just that, this is showing me she has sort of just like emotional issues, you know. Sometimes she's kind of just like, yo, I'm getting a good deal. Then sometimes she's like, yo, this is stupid, I'm not happy. This is showing me sort of like a person that's at conflict. They're not happy with their circumstances, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely seeing someone that's not happy with their circumstances. Let's look further. Very fascinating. This is definitely an interesting energy, right? Because it's like she wants to be involved in like Hollywood, you know what I mean? But the Eight of Cups, right? It speaks of walking away. The Eight of Cups definitely speaks of walking away. The fact that this card, again, is upside down is giving me a deep sort of understanding of this situation. She's going to be wanting to walk away once this is all said and done. And she's going to be getting involved into deeper forms of spirituality. But the fact that, again, it's inverted, it's showing me that I'm just getting negative vibes, and I don't want to be like a negative reader or anything like that, but that's just what I'm seeing. It's kind of just like this whole situation has been taxing on her. You know what I mean? Again, she's not satisfied, you know, but this is a particular sort of like energy, because this Eight of Cups, not only does it speak of walking away because some shit's not working right for you, this is also an energy of like spirituality. You know what I mean? You see this guy meditating here. But the fact, again, it's inverted, it speaks of spirituality that's not legit. So what's being shown to me is that, you know, after this is all said and done, she's going to be very bitter. You know what I mean? And she's going to be influenced by negative shit, negative spirituality. This is an interesting energy, right? Because if you ever, like, Google the meaning of the Three of Coins, it speaks of mastery, right? It speaks of like the apprentice, the master. What's being shown to me, the fact that it's inverted again, is that she feels like she's a strategist, right? But she's actually a novice. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. She doesn't know like how serious this shit is, as well as what I'm seeing. So it's kind of just like, you know, she feels like she's playing chess, but the energies, I know this is gonna sound harsh, but this is like the energies that came to me. It's telling me, it's like, yo bitch, you're not like a master, you're a novice, and you need to know your place. So again, it has to do with that pride energy. It definitely has to do with that pride. It's fascinating because it's like she thinks that she's really smart, but the energy is just showing that, nah, she's actually not smart. Let's look further. This is interesting, right? This Knight of Swords, you know what I mean? It speaks of sort of just like being committed to your ideas, trying to get shit done, being ambitious. Her lower nature gets the best of her, that pride. It's a deep energy. It's kind of like, I know this is intense, but it's like she would have everything she wanted if she wasn't so prideful. You know what I mean? I'm definitely seeing her lower natures get the best of her. So it's kind of just like, again, I don't know if they're like married or if she's like, I know I say girlfriend, but you know, sometimes these people can be like secretive, like married and shit. Like we wouldn't necessarily know. But what's being shown to me is like she would have it all, because 4 speaks of marriage, it speaks of family. It's kind of just like if she wasn't so prideful and so like into her lower nature, she would have everything that she wants as far as that like marriage and family and all that. But it's been a struggle. Not just that, she definitely incurred a lot of damage, you know, to her body. You know what I mean? So this is interesting that energy came up. You know, I'm seeing fertility issues. I'm seeing all sorts of shit. I'm seeing a toxic energy. I'm definitely picking up on toxic energy. I don't know if I should say it because sometimes people are sensitive, but I'm seeing abortions, right? I'm seeing past abortions in her life and shit. You know what I mean? It has kind of like destroyed her body. Not just that, I'm seeing physical abuse. I'm not going to say who's it by. Also, let me just say this reading's all for entertainment and it's allegedly. But I'm seeing a lady that's been through a lot. I'm definitely seeing a lady that's been through a lot. And the reason why she's been through all this abuse is because of pride. I know that seems harsh, but that's just what it is. You know, sometimes when you think that like you're super smart and you out here doing shit and you're doing the most, you know, a lot of ladies, they tend to get their ass beat. I know that seems like harsh, but it is what it is. Even the men, like, this isn't just like a female or like man thing. This is for everyone. It's kind of just like when you out here being prideful, doing the most, you incur damage, you know, and it's showing me that she has definitely incurred some damage. So, I mean, it is what it is. Let's see what else we can see about this couple, because I'm like curious, like, does he love her? So let's see. So I'm curious, does this dude, does he love her? Let's see what I can see. Does Bruno Mars love Jessica? This Queen of Pentacles, this is an interesting energy, right? Because the Queen of Pentacles, it speaks of wealth, right? He sees her as a opportunist. It is what it is. You know what I mean? He knows what she's about. So remember, you have to understand that all those sort of like Seven of Swords that came up earlier for Bruno Mars shows that he's definitely not a dumb man. So he knows what it is. He sees her as basically as an opportunist. You know what I mean? The Queen of Pentacles, yeah, it means great things, but we got to relate it towards like the reading and shit and what's happening. He sees her as an opportunist. Let's see what else is going on. So yeah, how he sees her as an opportunist. You see what I mean? He's just like, whenever this shit is over, it's going to be over. You know what I mean? Because justice has to do with time. You know, justice has like multiple meanings, but this is an energy of time. He's like, yo, I'm going to let time run its course. You know what I mean? He has feelings for her. So it's like, yeah, he is a smart man, but what's being shown to me is that he knows that she's an opportunist, but he does care about her. I'm not getting love. It's like, he does kind of like love her, I guess. Like intuitively, I'm picking up like different energy. So it's like, yeah, he does kind of love her. That's why he's like with her. But it's like, he hasn't given up like his heart fully to her because he knows that she's an opportunist. So he's just like, yo, I'm going to let time run its course. Like if she's legit, then, you know, things are going to pan out well. You know what I mean? But if it's not, then she got to go. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. So I'm curious, does she love Bruno Mars? What can I see about that situation? Let's see. Success. So this is an interesting ass energy for sure. This success sort of like vibe. This is an energy of love, right? This is an energy of being seen, of being heard. You know what I mean? Because usually when we speak of like success and victory, it speaks of like positive attention, right? It speaks of influence. She's in this for the influence. You see how she's like the center of attention and everyone's looking at her? She's in this situation for influence. You know what I mean? So you see how the cards is just basically exposing what the fuck it is? Because that's what we were seeing early on in the reading. And it's funny that that's coming out. So let's look further. What else can I see about this situation? Yeah, I mean, the Nine of Cups, right? It usually speaks of satisfaction. You know what I mean? It's definitely a positive energy. It can speak of greed as well. This Nine of Cups. But what I'm getting is kind of just like, she's doing all this for success, right? This is all for success, her being with Bruno Mars. But it's like she's been waiting for a long ass time. So what I'm seeing is just like, she's all about victory. She's all about success. But she's having to wait for a long time. You know what I mean? Because usually when it's upright, it speaks of that shit coming to you fast. And it also speaks of like you being in like that sort of like positive energy, like in the moment, you know what I mean? But the fact that it's inverted is showing me it's kind of just like, she's having to wait. You know what I mean? So, I mean, this isn't an energy of love. This is like basically an energy of abundance. She just cares about the abundance. So, I mean, it is what it is. Let's see. What else can I see about her situation? All right. These two cards fell face down, and I believe upside down, actually, from what I seen when it came out. So this is interesting. This do you remember? This is showing me a manipulative person. You know what I mean? She's just like, yo, dude, do you remember when I did this and that for you? Like, do you remember your past lives, your past ex-girlfriends, and like the shit you told me? You know what I mean? How it was basically karmic. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like she throws that shit in his face. You know what I mean? She tries to get him... try to like let him be stuck in the past, you know what I mean? Preventing him from moving on, trying to keep him clinging towards her is what I'm seeing. And this is funny that this is the twin flame card, right? I don't believe in the whole twin flame situation. I believe in soulmates, but I believe the story of the twin flame is very toxic. Like, if you know like the stories of like this whole twin flame shit and how it's just like a whole toxic shit, it's just bullshit in my opinion. But what I'm seeing is this running and chasing, separation and obsession, this is showing me sort of like basically a karmic situation. It is what it is. It's kind of just like he can't get rid of her, she can't get rid of him. You know what I mean? That they definitely have falling out. And what I'm seeing is it's kind of just like, it's like she's basically stuck in this shit and he's stuck in this shit. You know what I mean? And she definitely uses the past to try to keep him stuck. It is what it is. Let me see. What can I see about his energy, his situation? That was very insightful, in my opinion. Guys, definitely tell me what you think. This secret admirer, this crush, I'm not gonna lie, right? It is what it is. He definitely has someone that he's interested in, and it's not her. You know what I mean? You would think that this guy, because of who he is, he would have a lot of like females, you know, but what I'm seeing is it's like he does have someone that he actually cares about, and it's not her. But again, it's a secret situation with this secret admirer. So, I mean, very interesting. Let me see. Like, does she know who this person is? I'm curious. Like, does she know that he has someone that he's interested in? Let me see. What can be shown about this situation? Ah, shit. Yeah, she knows. She definitely knows. You see how the cards are fucking speaking with the images? Look at this guy. You see how he can't sleep? You see how this is a bed? She's fucking caught up in her head. Like, she's definitely caught up in her head. She doesn't have rest because she knows that he likes someone else, that he's basically in love with someone else, and it's bothering her. You know what I mean? So, very fascinating energy for sure is what I'm seeing. I'm gonna leave it here though. This was definitely a fascinating reading. Guys, definitely tell me what you think of this situation. Peace and abundance. Also, press the thumbs up button if you made it this far.